Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Erin and I'll be guiding you through this hour-long yoga practice today. You shouldn't need anything other than one block and a willingness to let go and be present. Let's begin by coming onto our backs. Draw the soles of the feet to touch. Allow the knees to open wide. Place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And let's begin. Take a deep breath in through the nose, fill up the belly, fill up the chest. Pause at the top of that breath. And now open your mouth, exhale, let go. Let's do that again. Inhale through the nose, fill up the belly, the chest, the rib cage. Pause at the top. Open your mouth, exhale, let it go. And now close the lips. Begin to breathe in and out through the nose. Engage your ujjayi breath. Feel that breath move over the back of your vocal cords, creating a whisper-like quality. And stay with that breath as you draw the knees into the chest. Gently rock side to side. Open the arms out to a T. And let's drop the knees over to the right and gaze to the left. On an inhale, knees come back to center and we'll change sides. Knees drop over to the left, gaze to the right. On your inhale, come back to center. Drop the knees to the right. Inhale through center and exhale, knees to the left. Inhale through center. One more time on each side. Keep the shoulders planted on the earth. Feel the stretch not only through the spine, but through the front of the chest. On your inhale, come back to center. Hug the knees back into the chest and begin to rock and roll forward and back, massaging out your spine. On the next rock forward, come all the way into a standing forward fold. Separate the feet hip distance. Clasp opposite elbows. You might want a soft bend in your knees. Allow the head to be loose. The neck is soft. Find yourself grounded and present here. You've set aside this hour for your practice. Allow your mind and body to be fully present. Let's roll our way up to standing. And on an inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, draw the hands through heart center. Bring the feet to touch. Take a deep breath in and out. On your inhale, reach the arms overhead. As you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. And exhale, take it back into a fold. Inhale, arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, fold right back into the forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. And this time, exhale, walk or jump back. Let's flow through our first chaturanga. And press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg reaches high, bend the right knee, take a few rotations of the hip, moving the hip in one direction, then the other direction. We'll re-extend the leg and then step the right foot forward, lower the left knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Take a moment here Check your alignment. Right knee is over the right ankle. And then lower the hands, step back to plank, lower halfway, elbows in line with shoulders. Inhale, up dog, and exhale, down dog. Inhale, left heel high, bend the left knee, take a few circles, one direction, and then the other direction. Let's re-extend that left leg, reach it high. And as you exhale, step the left foot forward, lower the right knee to the earth. Inhale, arms reach alongside the ears. Right hip presses forward, left hip pulls back. Lower the palms, step back to high plank, lower halfway. Inhale, up dog, shoulders stack on the wrists, and exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Step or hop to the front of your mat, lengthen the spine, and then take that length into a fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, bend the knees, sit back into the heels. Liberate the toes, so no weight in the toes, just the heels. And then inhale, reach high, little mini back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, walk or jump back, lower through your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, press it back, downward dog. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, step the right foot forward, spin the left foot flat, rise up for warrior one. Lower the palms, step back, flow through your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left heel high, step it forward, spin the right foot flat for warrior one, rise up. And as you exhale, lower, step back and flow. If it's a little fast, just take it at your own pace. Take a breath when you come into downward facing dog. Always move with your own breath. It's your greatest teacher. Tune into it. Gaze forward, walk or hop to the top of your mat. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, back to Utkatasana, bend the knees, sink the hips low. And then rise up, take a mini back bend, opening the heart and chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for length, and as you exhale, plant the palms, walk or jump back, flow through your chaturanga, moving with the breath. Inhale, right heel high. Exhale, step the right foot forward, left foot spins flat, rise up for warrior one. This time interlace the hands behind the back, square the hips to the top of your mat, and then fold the torso to the inside of the right leg. Palms reach up to the sky, crown of the head relaxes toward the earth. Press the weight into the pinky toe edge of that left foot and keep bending through the right knee, stacking the right knee on top of the ankle. Keep the interlace as you rise up and then reach the arms overhead, and let's open for warrior two. Reverse the warrior. Stay here, breathe into the right side body. Adjust the feet as needed. You should have a heel to arch alignment. Come back to warrior two, straighten the right leg, and let's exhale into Trikonasana, dropping the right hand toward the ankle, left arm reaches up to the sky. So imagine that the hands have magnets on them and they're moving in opposite directions. Right hand is magnetizing toward the earth, left arm magnetizing toward the sky. Energy is moving even through the arms. Let's bring the left hand to the left waist, and from here we'll glide forward into half moon pose, I like to place a block under that right hand, so feel free to do so. Left arm reaches to the sky. This is stage 1. If you're moving on to stage 2, bend the left knee, reach back with the left hand and clasp that foot or ankle. Keep the shoulders stacking so we're not pulling the left shoulder forward, but rather pull it back, open through the heart. Imagine that your heart is beaming forward. And then let's softly release. On an exhale, lower the left hand down to the earth. And if you're using a block, I recommend placing that under the left hand. We're coming into revolved half moon. This time, right arm reaches up to the sky. There's a tendency to let that left leg shift down to the earth, so be conscious of that tendency and make sure that the left heel stays in alignment with the left hip. On your exhale, release both hands down to the earth, coming into standing splits, folding over the right leg. Left toes reach to the sky. Take a deep breath in and see if you can move just a little deeper as you exhale. On your inhale, step the left foot to the back of the mat and inhale, rise up for crescent lunge. Stack the right knee on top of the right ankle. Make sure the arms are aligned with the ears. Draw the hands to your heart center and we'll take a twist. Left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Press the palms together. Feel that the twist is coming from the mid-back all the way through the upper back. And then let's slowly release the palms to the earth. Stay on the back toes and simply straighten the right leg, coming into a modified pyramid pose. We'll stay here for a few breaths, allowing the body time to open and adapt. Just use your breath to create opening and spaciousness in the body. On your next inhale, bring both hands to the inside of the right foot and quarter turn to the left, coming into Prasarita. On your exhale, fold the torso forward. You can stay right here, or if you have headstand as part of your practice, this is a good opportunity to come into that tripod headstand, placing the weight in the palms. And maybe you don't go into full headstand. Maybe you just play with bringing the weight into the balls of the feet, just shifting a little weight onto the crown of the head. And if you're at home, of course, you can always move to a wall for more support. So whether you're in Prasarita or whether you're in headstand, there's no difference in the breath. The breath flows fluidly, deeply. If you're in headstand, go ahead and release back into Prasarita. And let's all take another breath or two here. On your inhale, lengthen through the spine. Heel toe the feet in, a footprint. Bring the hands to the waist and simply rise up to standing. Let's pivot toward the top of the mat. Step the left foot forward to meet the right. Hands come to heart center. Take a breath in and let it go. Inhale, Utkatasana. Sink the hips, weight into the heels, arms alongside the ears. And let's shift the weight into the left foot. Cross the right knee on top of the left, and then we'll come into eagle arms, right arm underneath the left, crossing at the elbows, maybe crossing at the wrists too. And then pull the elbows away from the torso. In this variation, imagine that your back is flat against a wall, so we're not leaning forward. Instead, we're leaning just a little bit backwards. And then let's release. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale. Let's come into a deeper fold. Reach around behind the calves and bring the left hand to the outside of the right ankle, right hand to the outside of the left ankle. Use that leverage to pull this torso down and allow the body a few breaths to stretch into the depth of this pose. On your inhale, release the arms, lengthen the spine, and as you exhale, separate the feet hip distance. Toes will point off to the corners of the mat. We'll come into Malasana, a yogi squat. Now everyone's hips are different, so you might have your feet closer together or farther apart. Just find what feels good for your hips. Sink down into your pose, keeping the full foot grounded on the earth. And from here, we'll play a little bit with our balancing posture, coming into crow pose. Create a little shelf by bending the elbows. Bring the shoulders in line with the elbows, and then rest the knees on that shelf that you've created, and then play. One foot comes up, maybe both feet come up. If you have a jump back, you can jump back. And we'll all flow through our chaturanga sequence and meet back in downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Exhale, let it go. From here, let's drop down to the forearms, coming into a dolphin pose. It's exactly like downward facing dog. We'll just give the wrists a little rest by resting on the forearms instead of the hands. You want to keep the elbows in line with the shoulders, so don't let those splay out to the sides. And from here, let's walk the feet back. We'll come into a dolphin plank on the forearms. Elbows are still directly under the shoulders. Hips in line with the shoulders. Heels in line with the hips. Core of the body is pulled in. This is your Mula Bandha, the center line of energy in the belly. So just have a gentle awareness that you bring to this point of the belly button and tuck it in. Let's come back into downward facing dog. On an inhale, left heel reaches high. Exhale, step the left foot forward, spin the right foot flat, and rise up for warrior one. Interlace the hands behind the low back, press the palms together, and as you exhale, fold the torso to the inside of the left leg. Keep reaching the hands toward the top of the mat, and at the same time, keep the neck soft so there's no tension in the neck. On your inhale, rise back up, sweep the arms alongside the ears, and open for warrior two. On an exhale, reverse that warrior. Left arm up and overhead. Breathe into the left side body. Press into the pinky toe edge of that right foot, and then bend the left knee just a little deeper. Come back to warrior two, straighten the left leg, and as you exhale, move into your triangle pose. Remember those magnets attached to each hand, pulling you in opposite directions, really allowing the energy of the body to expand all the way from the heart center through the arms and even out through the fingertips. Let's bring the right hand to the waist and begin to shift forward into half moon. Keep the right toes angled down so they're not pointing up to the sky. And if you're moving on Hasta Baddha Pada, just bend that right knee, reach back with the right hand, clasp the ankle or foot. If you really want to play with the balance here, you can gaze up to the sky. Let's softly release, and on an exhale, lower both hands to the earth, coming into our revolved half moon. If you're using a block, place that under the right hand. On an inhale, sweep the left fingertips up to the sky. Remember to keep lifting through the right heel, keeping that aligned with the right hip. And as much as you can, stack the shoulders. On an exhale, let's release into standing splits. Fold the torso over the left leg and reach the right toes up to the sky. Take a few breaths here. Give your body time to open. As you exhale, step the right foot back and then rise up for your crescent lunge. Sweep the arms up alongside the ears. Keep the integrity of that lunge. Left knee over the left ankle. Draw your hands to the heart and we'll take our twist. Bring the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Press the palms together. And then think of pulling that left shoulder and elbow back, lining it up over the right. At the same time, as much as you can, keep the hips level. So the twist is coming from the middle of the back, not from the low back. And then gaze down, lower the palms. On your exhale, straighten through the left leg. Stay on the ball of that right foot. Few breaths, elongate and expand. On your next inhale, quarter turn to your left, coming back into Prasarita. Square the feet to the short edges of your mat. As you exhale, fold. So you have an option to take a second headstand or interlace the fingers behind the back and then allow the fingers to reach toward the earth. Elbows are straight, shoulders open. Use this opportunity to come back to your Ujjayi breath. Deepen the breath. Remember that that's the only part of your yoga practice that's required. That you just keep that Ujjayi breath flowing in and out through the nose. Let's slowly release. Bring the hands to the waist. And on an inhale, rise up. Let's spin to the top of the mat and step the right foot forward to meet the left. Hands to the heart. Bend your knees. Let's come back into Utkatasana. Sink low. This time, bring the weight into the right foot. Wrap the left knee over the right. And then the left arm under the right. Crossing the elbows and the wrists. Think of moving back in space. So we're imagining that we're leaning back against a wall. And at the same time, pull the hands away from the face. Pull the elbows as far as you can away from the body. And then let's release. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Gentle back bend. Heart opens, chest opens. And as you exhale, hands come to heart center. From here, we're going to come into a balancing pose. I'm going to turn so you can see what I'm doing, but you can stay facing forward if you like. Let's bring the weight into the left foot and then reach down and clasp the right foot on the outside. We're coming into a standing pigeon pose. So I like to interlace my hands and create a little shelf to hold that foot. Keep the right foot flexed and then pull it away from the body. As much as you can, drop the right knee down in line with the ankle. So keep lifting the foot, feeling that stretch through the hip. And then reach down with the left hand, clasp the outside pinky toe edge of the foot. We'll come into a twist. If you can straighten the right leg, go ahead and do so. Left arm reaches around behind you and the gaze follows that left hand. If you fall out of the pose, that's okay. Just come right back in. And then let's gaze forward. Release the leg, but keep it where it is. Arms reach overhead. Find your strength. And then slowly lower. I'm going to turn to face the top of my mat so you can see. Again, you can stay facing forward. Coming into dancer's pose. Bend the right knee. Reach back and clasp the inside of the ankle or foot. And then begin to lift the knee so it's in line with the right hip. Press the foot away from the body. And then with balance, begin to lower the left fingertips to the earth. Release the right foot, place both hands on the earth, and step the right knee behind the left, coming into a seated pose. Left knee is bent. We'll reach the right arm around and wrap it around the left knee. Left arm reaches around behind as close as you can to the tailbone. Take a moment to wring out any toxins, any energy that's not serving you. And then we'll simply take a counter twist, twisting the upper body to the right. Come back to center. From here, we're going to come into a little core strengthening exercise. Let's begin in Navasana, boat pose. So find the balancing point on your sit bones, and then you can lift the feet off the earth. Knees can be straight or bent. You want to keep the shoulders open, and then lower the right heel to the earth, and then reach it up. Lower the left heel, and reach it up. Right heel down. Lift, left heel down, and lift, right heel down, lift, and left heel down, and lift. Bend the knees, slowly make your way down onto your back. We can't have a strong back without a strong core, so it's important to integrate some of that core work into our yoga practice. I'm telling you this because there's more to come. Let's interlace the hands behind the head, lift the feet to the sky, and then drop the right heel down to the earth. Lift it up and simply alternate, dropping one heel down to the earth and then the opposite heel. Keep the torso lifted. Use the belly to keep the torso and head lifted, not the arms. Arms are just there to support the neck. And then slowly release. Hug both knees into the chest. Drop the feet down onto the earth, preparing for bridge pose. On an inhale, lift the hips, interlace the hands underneath the sit bones, press the palms together, and then lift the hips up to the sky. Keep the knees aligned over the ankles so they're not splaying out to the sides. And then notice that the toes are facing toward the top of your mat. They're also not pointed out to the side. And then slowly make your way down onto your back, one vertebrae at a time. Hug the knees into your chest, and then rock and roll forward and back, forward and back. This time forward all the way into a forward fold. Jump back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breath in, breath out. Let's do that again. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Open your mouth, exhale, let it all go. One more round. Inhale. Open your mouth, exhale. On your next inhale, come into plank pose. Hold your plank pose, shoulders over the wrist. Engage the low belly. Think of the crown of the head moving forward and the heels moving backward. Then press it back, downward facing dog. From here, let's walk or jump to the top of the mat. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, bend your knees, sink low into the heels. Inhale, rise up, take a standing back bend, and then lower the hands to heart center. Let's come into our balancing pose on the second side. I'll turn to face you. Weight comes into the right foot and then lift the left foot for standing pigeon. Interlace the hands around the left foot. Think of pulling the foot away from the torso and then dropping the knee down, opening up through the medial side of the hip. Focus your eyes on a single point. And then let's slide the right hand to the outside of that left foot. Inhale, take your twist. Left arm reaches to the back wall. If you're feeling really playful, you can play with moving the gaze to follow that back hand. Maybe you shift the gaze halfway, 3/4, or all the way to the back wall. And then let's gaze forward, release your hold of the foot, arms reach overhead. And then we'll come into our dancer's pose. Bend the left knee, reach back with that left hand. Bring the palm to the inside of the left ankle. Begin to press the foot into the hand as you pivot at the hip. Reach the right arm out. And then slowly, with control, begin to drop the right hand down to the mat. See how slow you can go. And then when the fingertips make contact with the mat, release both hands to the earth. Come into your standing splits. Left toes reach high. And then we'll come into our seated posture. Right knee is bent. Reach the left arm out and around the right knee, coming into your twist. Right arm around behind you, hand placed close to the tailbone. Gaze over the right shoulder. And we'll take a counter twist to shift the torso the opposite direction, looking over to the left side of the mat. And then come back to center. On your exhale, come back to Navasana, boat pose. Find that balancing point on the sit bones. Open the heart and the chest. And then let's lower all the way down onto the back. Interlace the hands behind the head. And then lower the left foot down to the earth, right toes to the sky. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Move with your own breath. Just a few rounds here. Think of building that core strength to strengthen your back and make all of these poses in yoga easier and better supported, so we're not relying on the joints. Let's switch the feet. This time, left toes reach high, right toes drop down toward the earth. Remember, the arms are just there to support the head. We're not pulling with the arms. Just a couple more rounds. And then both toes reach to the sky. Now keep the torso lifted and lower the feet halfway toward the earth. And then float the heels an inch off the earth and hug the knees into your chest. That's it. We're strong enough. No more core work today. Take a moment to reset and then rock yourself forward and back. Forward into a forward fold. Jump back and flow through your chaturanga. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come back into your plank pose and then lower all the way down onto your belly. We'll take a shoulder opener here. Cross the right arm to the left side of the mat and then reach the left arm on top of the right to the right side of your mat. And then simply change the cross, right arm in front of left. Just feel that nice opening across the shoulders and the shoulder blades. Now let's slowly release. Come onto the elbows, tuck the toes, and lift the hips. Come into a dolphin plank pose. Re-establish the breath. Ujjayi, breath in and out through the nose, your anchor through practice. Steady the mind. And then from here, let's drop the knees down to the earth. And we'll come into a child's pose. For this variation, I'm keeping my knees together. You can keep yours together or take a wide-legged child's pose if that feels better for your body. Rest the forehead on the mat. Reset. Recenter. On your next breath in, bring yourself forward and lower all the way down onto the belly. Cross the left forearm across the mat, bend the right knee, reach back with the right hand and clasp that foot. We're going to start by pulling the right foot in as close as we can to the glute. Be very mindful of the knee. Keep the foot in line with the knee. And then we'll try the second variation, which is to pull the foot away from the body, flexing that foot. So just notice how you might feel this differently in your body. Get to know your body. Notice where you're open. Notice where you're tight. And then let's softly release our hold of that right foot. Let's take a moment in Sphinx pose with elbows under the shoulders. Think of moving the heart through the gateway of the shoulders. And then we'll move to the other side, cross the right forearm across the mat, reach back with the left hand, start by hugging the left knee in, pulling that heel as close as you can toward the glute. Square the hips. And then we'll come into the second variation. Flex the left foot, pull the foot away from the body. Notice that the left shoulder can move forward a little more in line with the right shoulder in this variation. And then let's softly release. Come back into Sphinx pose. Elbows under the shoulders, heart beaming forward. Let's release the torso down onto the mat, left ear to the mat, palms released beside the hips facing up. Just allow yourself to receive the grounding energy of the earth. Take a breath in and a breath out. And then bring the head back to center, bend both knees, reach back and clasp the outsides of the feet or the ankles. On an inhale, flex the feet, Use the traction of the feet pulling backwards to lift the torso and the shoulders off of the earth. Keep the knees magnetizing toward one another, heart moving forward, feet moving back. And as you exhale, slowly release, this time right ear on the earth. Once again, feel that you're receiving that solid, stable energy from the earth right into your body. On your inhale, head comes back to center, palms under the shoulders, press straight up into plank, and then back to down dog. Inhale, right heel sweeps high, and then step the right foot forward, lower the left knee. Inhale, interlace the hands, place those against the right knee, straighten the arms. You can stay here or bend the back knee, reach back with the left hand, clasping the outside of that ankle, and then sweep the right arm up alongside the ear. Think of squaring the shoulders forward, so left shoulder forward, right shoulder back. The knees are sensitive. You can always pause, put some padding under the knee, and then we'll release. Bring both hands to the inside of that right foot. Heel toe the right foot off the edge of your mat. Bring it to a 45-degree angle, and then lower down to the elbows, coming into a lizard pose. With each breath, sink the left hip closer to the earth. You can open the right knee out to the pinky toe edge of that foot. And then let's rise back up to both palms. Bring the right foot back to the center line of the mat, and then straighten the right leg. Sit all the way back onto the left heel, and then fold the torso forward, dropping the head down to the leg. On your inhale, begin to make your way forward back into the lunge, softly, mindfully moving. Tuck the left toes. Now you can stay in the lunge, or you have an optional arm balance here. You can rest the right knee on the right elbow, and then maybe float the left toes off of the earth. And then let's all move through a chaturanga and meet back in downward facing dog. On an inhale, left toes reach to the sky. Exhale, left foot forward, right knee down. Rise up, interlace the hands, press the palms against the left knee. You can stay here or bend the right knee, reach back with the right hand. Sweep the left arm up alongside the left ear. Bring the right shoulder forward, left shoulder back. On your exhale, release the left palm, release the right palm. Bring both hands to the inside of the left foot, and then heel toe that left foot to the edge of the mat. You can angle the toes out at 45 degrees. Come onto the elbows. Stay here. Drop the right hip. Open the left knee to the left. On your inhale, rise back up to both palms, heel toe the left foot to the center of the mat. Begin to straighten through the left leg, shift the hips back, sit onto the right heel, and then fold the torso forward into a forward fold. Left leg is straight, left toes are flexed. Stay here for a few breaths. On your inhale, slowly begin to rise up, coming back into the lunge. Tuck the right toes, optional arm balance. You don't have to take this. This is just for fun. If it's not fun for you, skip it. And then we'll all meet in downward facing dog. When you make your way to down dog, receive a deep, nourishing breath in and open your mouth. Exhale, let it all go. Let's drop down to the knees now, preparing for a camel pose. Come into a kneeling posture. Place the palms on the low back, fingers facing upward. Open the heart to the sky and know that you can stay right here. If it's comfortable, tip the head back. If you'd like to move on, then reach back with the palms, clasp the ankles or the heels, and then realign the hips over the knees. Receive the benefits of the posture by staying for at least 2 breaths. On an inhale, place the palms back to the low back and then rise up. Sink the sit bones down onto the heels, bring the hands to heart center, and just pause. Let's lower the hands down onto the knees, spin around onto the sit bones, extend the legs forward. Shift side to side, finding the sit bones rooted to the earth, and then place the left ankle on top of the right knee, bend the right knee, and place the right ankle under the left knee. On an inhale, sweep the arms overhead, and as you exhale, fold the torso forward over the legs, coming into fire log pose, stretching through the hips and the back. On your next inhale, walk yourself up to a seat. Hug that left foot in close to the body, and then take the right hand, place it on the left knee, Reach the left arm overhead and around behind you, taking a twist. Maybe you reach all the way around and clasp the left foot with the left hand. Slowly release, coming back to center. Extend the left leg forward and pull the right sole of the foot to the left inner thigh. Inhale the arms overhead and exhale with a long spine. Fold the torso forward into a forward fold. Use these forward folds to settle the mind and settle your energy. Come back to center and into a quiet mind. If you find the thoughts being active, that's not unusual. Just come back to the breath. Rise up. And now we'll change sides. Place the right ankle on top of the left knee. Inhale the arms overhead and exhale, fold. On your inhale, softly rise back up to a seat. Pull the right foot into the body and we'll take a twist. Place the left hand to the outside of the right knee and bring the right arm around behind you, placing the hand close to the tailbone or reaching around and clasping the foot. On your next breath in, come back to center, extend the right leg long, pull the left foot into the right inner thigh, and inhale the arms overhead for length, exhale to fold. On your next breath in, rise up to a seat. And from here, we're going to come into Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet touch, knees open wide. Think of opening the feet like the pages of a book. And as you exhale, hinge forward from the hips, leading with the heart. Don't worry if the head doesn't come all the way down. That's okay, just keep the spine straight for this variation. On inhale, rise back up. And let's take the two peace fingers of each hand, clasping the big toes, moving into Upavishta Konasana. Extend and straighten one leg, maybe both legs, balancing on the sit bones, engaging the core. Similar to our Navasana pose, the belly is engaged. And then from here, draw the legs to touch. and then bend the knees. Let's walk the hands behind us in line with the shoulders, fingertips facing toward the feet. Straighten the legs, and on an inhale, lift the hips. Create one straight line of energy from the ankles up to the hips, up to the shoulders. And if it's comfortable, drop the head back. Open the heart and receive. Let's lower the hips now. Tuck the chin to the chest. Bend the knees and softly make your way down onto your back. Hug the knees into the chest. Cross the right ankle on top of the left knee and then hug the left knee into the body. You can stay right here, or for a deeper hip stretch, you can extend the left leg long, wrap the right arm around the right knee and the left arm over the right. Hug the right knee and ankle into the body, getting deep into the right hip. And don't let the left leg go into Shavasana. Keep that extended with some energy flowing through it, pressing it down toward the earth. Let's slowly make our way out of this pose, straightening the right knee, hugging the right leg into the torso. Bend the elbows, just invite that right leg forward. Let's slowly release. Bring the left ankle, place it on top of the right knee, and then hug the right knee into the chest. You can stay right here or move into the deeper variation by extending the right leg onto the mat and hugging the left knee and foot into the chest. Whichever variation you're in, come back to your breath. Let's slowly release, clasping that left foot with both hands, straightening the left leg. Bend the elbows and invite the left leg to move forward as deep as you're comfortable. On your exhale, softly release and hug both knees into the chest. Gently rock side to side, massaging the spine. And from here, let's come into a plow pose. Extend the feet behind the head, sit bones up to the sky. Place the palms on the low back, and if the feet touch the earth, you can interlace the hands and straighten through the elbows. Keep the sit bones lifting energetically. Sometimes it's a little tricky to breathe in this pose, but just do the best you can to stay conscious of mindful breath. If you're in plow pose, drop the knees down beside the ears. Reach back and clasp the big toes with the peace fingers of each hand. Take another breath or two here. Now slowly, with control, begin to lower yourself onto the mat, vertebrae by vertebrae. Release the arms onto the mat, and as slow as you can, lower the feet down to the earth. Last bit of core engagement. And then make your way into Shavasana, your final resting posture. Let the feet fall open. Let the arms rest down by the sides, palms facing up. Close your eyes. Settle in for a deep, restorative rest for the next 2 or 3 minutes. In our busy lives, we oftentimes don't take time to be still unless we're going to sleep. So use this time to be conscious and relaxed. Train your body here to be aware, alert, and calm, peaceful, settled. I'll let you know when it's time to come out. On your next breath in, begin to deepen the breath. Gently reintroduce some soft movements to your body. Reach the arms overhead for a full body stretch. Bend your knees, roll over to the right side, and pause. Take the softness and the gentleness of your relaxation pose with you as you rise up to a seat. Keep the eyes soft. Come into a comfortable seat and draw your hands to your heart center. Let's close our practice with a final breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Thank you so much for joining me for today's practice. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.